Hey, Wire Monkeys. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Cabling. This show, we're talking about something that's near and dear to most everybody's heart in this industry: training. Welcome to the show where we tackle the tough questions submitted by installers, customers, ICT personnel, project managers, estimators. We are connecting at the human level so that we can connect the world. If you're watching this show on YouTube, would you mind hitting the subscribe button and the bell button to be notified when new content is being produced? If you're listening to us on one of the audio podcast platforms, why don't you give us a 5-star rating? Those simple little steps helps us take on the algorithm so we can educate, encourage, and enrich the lives of people in the ICT industry. Thursday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What are you doing? We do a live stream where you get to ask your favorite RCDD, and you know that's me, your favorite questions on installation, design, certification, project management, estimation. I even do career path questions. But I can hear you now. But Chuck, I'm driving my truck and it's 6 p.m. on Thursday. I don't want to get into an accident. Okay. I record them and you can watch them at your convenience. Also, while this show is free and will always remain free, would you mind clicking on that QR code right there? You can buy me a cup of coffee. You can schedule a 15-minute one-on-one call with me after hours, of course. Or we're also always looking for corporate sponsorship as well. So if your corporate philosophy matches educate, encourage, and enrich, look me up and send me. Let's start talking. You know, in this fast-paced world of information and communication technologies, ICT, keeping up with the latest trends and developments is not just important, it's going to be essential for you to stay ahead in your career. So let's talk about why continuous learning and professional development are game changers in our industry. I want you to think about it. When we invest in training, we are not just gaining new skills, we're also opening new doors, new opportunities, and paving the way for career growth. It's like giving ourselves the tools to tackle any challenge that comes our way and making a meaningful contribution to our organizations. But hey, what do I know? I'm just an old guy with 42 years of experience. But I don't want to just talk theory with you today. I want to get real. Let's have a firsthand on how training has transformed not just my career, but also the careers of many people in this field, from mastering new technologies to taking on leadership roles to impact training. It's tangible, it's powerful. In today's episode, we're going to cover a lot of ground. We're going to explore different types of training available, the importance of certifications, and some of the strategies to make your learning journey even more effective. So buckle up and let's get ready for an insightful conversation on all things in training in ICT. You know, in our fast-paced world where technology evolves literally at the speed of light, keeping up is not just nice to have, it's absolutely essential for staying relevant and competitive in today's environment. Think about this. Continuous learning is like having a secret weapon. It ensures that as a professional, you are always going to be armed with the latest tools, techniques, and knowledge needed to tackle new challenges and drive that innovation. It's all about staying ahead of the curve, ready to take on whatever the industry throws our way. But it's not just about staying current. Ongoing training also allows us to expand our skill sets, to stay on top of the industry trends, and adapt to the ever-changing demands of our job roles. It's about being flexible. It's about being adaptable in an environment that is always evolving. Now let's talk about professional development activities like workshops, seminars, and certifications. These aren't just check boxes on your resume. These are badges of dedication and commitment to excellence. They showcase your willingness to continuously improve and also strive for the highest standards in your work. I literally just did a class on codes versus standards versus best practices. Do you want to be a good, a better, or the best? You might just want to check that out. And here's one thing: when organizations invest in ongoing training and development, it's not just beneficial for the individual, it's also going to create a culture of learning that benefits the entire organization. There are a few companies out there that I call platinum contractors because they invest in training. They know who they are because you know what? They are the leaders of the pack. It leads to higher employee engagement, better motivation, and retention of keeping those employees around because they know that they're always going to be trained, creating a positive cycle of growth and success. So let's highlight how training enhances your skills and your knowledge and maybe even your career opportunities. It's not just about, again, ticking those boxes or completing that course. It's a catalyst for personal and professional growth. It's going to propel you forward in your career and open up doors to you to new customers, to new companies, to new peers, to new mentors. Training is like a toolbox that's going to equip you with the skills, the competencies, and the knowledge you need to thrive in a dynamic landscape in this industry. It's where we learn the latest technologies, the cutting edge tech methodologies, and also the best practices that make us more efficient, more effective, and more innovative in our roles. But it doesn't just stop there. Acquiring new skills through training expands your horizons by unlocking a world of career possibilities from standardized roles to maybe that leadership position that you've got your eyes on, or maybe that estimating position that you've had your eyes set on, or maybe even sales. Not a lot of people can do sales. If you've got the skill sets for that, the sky's the limit. It's what sets us apart and makes us valuable assets in our competitive industry. And let's not forget about the ripple effect of training. It enhances the skills and knowledges that we gain, don't just benefit ourselves, our careers, but they also help us to contribute to organizational success, improve productivity, higher quality standards, and happier customers. Happier customers means they pay more. And it also helps you become a subject matter expert so you can participate in the committees, the ANSI committees, the BICSI committees, to even maybe help shape this industry. Why do so many people in our industry think so negatively about training or so negatively about certification? That's probably more accurate, more negative about certifications. Training is the ultimate career accelerator. It's going to empower you to take on those challenging products, to lead those teams with new confidence and turn your long-term career aspirations into a reality. So why don't you embrace training not just as a requirement, but as a strategic investment for your future success? Let's touch a little bit on emphasizing the role of training and keeping up with the technological advancements and maybe even our industry standards. In our fast-paced world in this industry, it's a constantly evolving landscape with new innovations and advancements popping up all the time. There's always some new technology, some new type of cable, some new type of connector, some new type process. And training is going to help bridge those gaps. Training is like a GPS in this ever-changing technical terrain. It's what keeps us on track, ensuring that we always are up to speed on the latest trends, the latest tools, and the solutions, no matter what areas of expertise. But it's not just about knowing the latest gadgets. Training is also going to give you a good deep dive into codes, industry standards, and best practices. And you might even want to think about the regulatory framework if you start doing work for service providers or access providers. It's like having a rule book that's going to guide you into meeting quality and safety standards in everything that you do. Training is what helps keep us flexible and ready for those shifts. Staying on top of all these technological advancements and the industry standards through training is not just going to help yourself stay sharp, but it's also going to help your organization grow and stay competitive. And it's going to be innovative in this ever-changing landscape. There's two types of training: free training and the training you have to pay for. The primary benefit of free training is its accessibility, as it's going to allow people from diverse backgrounds and locations to access high-quality learning without having any kind of financial constraints. COVID has really opened up the floodgates for this kind of stuff because now there's all kinds of training online that you can sit down and you can be at a 5-year-old's birthday party. You could be on a plane taking training. You could be at the airport taking training. You could be at the bus station and taking training. Why are people so afraid of training and certification? Just because that's the way that your grandfather did it, but just because that's the way your father did it, just because that's the way that the person who trained you did it, doesn't mean it's the right way to do it today. It doesn't. So free training is going to enable that professional, hopefully you, to explore these new technologies and gain fundamental knowledge and experiment with different types of tools and platforms before you actually pay for a paid course or paid certification. One of the most common questions I get asked a lot on the podcast is, Chuck, where do I get training? And I always recommend the free stuff first, especially for people who are new to this industry, because it doesn't make sense to tell them, hey, go to Bixby and take a $2,600 course if they've only been in the industry for a couple of days and they're not sure if they're going to stick with this industry. Why straddle them with debt? Why straddle the company that they're working for with debt? So always go with the free stuff first. And there's lots of free webinars and free workshops, and even some community resource offers opportunities for not only networking and mentorship, but also engagement. And those kind of scenarios are going to foster collaboration and knowledge sharing amongst industry peers. However, free training has many limitations, such as limited course depth. They're usually not as in-depth as the paid courses. Absence of certification or accreditation. You can't really take that certification to your potential customer, to your potential new employer. Hey, I watched this video called How Fiber Works by the Engineer Guy. Great video. I highly suggest watching it. So that's not going to carry any weight with them whatsoever. And with free training, you have fewer interactive learning features compared to paid programs. Because in a paid class, typically you're going to have an instructor in front of you, whether they're virtually or maybe face to face. Again, watching that YouTube video, it's a one-way line of communications. So if you have any questions about what was discussed, there's no way for you to dive deeper into that subject without trying to go find out more information. While free training serves as an excellent starting point for learning and skill development, you might need to still supplement it with paid courses or paid certifications, or maybe even practical experience to gain that in-depth expertise and advancement in your career. Knowledge is good when you couple it with experience. I have a saying, knowledge plus experience equals wisdom. You can't have wisdom without those two. There's a lot of people who go out there and get trained, but then they don't ever apply that knowledge. I have a family member who went to school to become an airline pilot, and that individual now works as a restaurant manager. It's just, they're not using the knowledge that they gave them. So let's talk about some of the free sources of training out there that you have out there. First one is YouTube. The beautiful thing about YouTube is it's free, and it's available on almost easily on any device. The problem is YouTube is a double-edged sword. There's good information and there's bad information. So make sure that you evaluate your source. Some good sources that I have found: Network Chuck, Tech Quickie. FIS has a free 2-hour fiber training course. Corning has some good videos out there on fiber optic. Lots of great resources out there. Just try to always lean with somebody who has a lot of experience, who can actually knows what they're doing. Try to lean towards a manufacturer video because they know what they're doing, or stay with somebody who has all the certifications. Even still, you're not going to guarantee 100% great content, but those are some simple little steps that you can take and figure out whether or not that content's going to be good. I've watched videos before where a distributor recommended that you hang a hinged wall bracket to a gypsum board wall with drywall anchors, not using plywood like the best practices recommend. So again, evaluate those resources. And remember, always keep in the back of your head, they're not always the best. A lot of times manufacturer courses have free courses as well too. There's several of them out there. For example, Unique Fire Stop Systems. They got a great 1-hour fire training class. Brother Solutions. Yes, the people who make the labelers. They've got a free 2-hour class on the administration standard. Leviton has their Easy Learn platform. Bright Talk has a lot of free information out there. And I think the best is going to be Cable Installation and Maintenance Magazine. If you don't already subscribe to them, homework assignment number 1, join them. Sign up for them. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. They also do 2 free webinars monthly. And all the manufacturers, all of the engineers in the industry come to Cable Installation Maintenance Magazine to create webinars. So you get a good, well-rounded picture. It's one of the best resources out there, but yet so many people don't know about it. And guess what this one is? Bixie. Yes, Bixie does occasionally, not always, occasionally will do a free class. You just got to watch out for them. Sign up for it and make sure you attend it. And then there's also industry communities. For example, I just got back from Tech Fest by TKW in Nashville. They had a ton of free training there for 2 days. Low Voltage Nation does meetups as well too. Well, they used to do meetups. I'm hoping they're going to starting them up again soon. Blake had mentioned something about maybe doing it. Keep your eye out on Low Voltage Nation, because if they start doing it, that's also going to be another good resource for you as well. And another one that's got there is mentorship. Now, mentorship, pretty simple. If Bixie has a free mentorship program that you can join, and you tell them what skill sets you want, and they will sign you with a mentor who's looking to teach somebody that same thing. If you don't want to go the Bixie route for mentorship because you have some ill feelings towards Bixie, which I don't know why you would, ask somebody to be your mentor. Find somebody at your job who's doing what you want to do. They're a project foreman. They're a fiber technician. They're a project manager. They're an estimator. Find out what they are doing and ask them if they will mentor you. The worst they can say is no. And if that doesn't work, go to LinkedIn. Go to LinkedIn and look up somebody in the industry who has the same skill sets, the job that you want, and say, hey, can you be my mentor? I really want to learn how this stuff. Most people will jump at that opportunity. Now, there's going to be some people that say, I can't do that. I ain't got enough time. Okay, go on to the next person. Just don't sit there and waste it. You can also join some low voltage communities, and there's several of them out that I've already mentioned. Low Voltage Nation, they've got a real big Facebook community. TKW is a Slack channel where you can meet with peers. Again, through discussion, you can help. Those peers can help you learn how to do things. Those are two great resources. Your company might even have a training department. Have you asked lately? And if they do, ask them if they can send you to training. They're not going to charge you for that training. There is a cost associated with that training, but they're not going to charge you for that training. Now, on top of that, you might have to sign a training agreement because they're investing money in you. But you know what? Again, training is what you need to do. So now let's talk about some paid training programs, some courses and certifications. Paid training programs, courses and certifications and workshops. Make sure you pick one that's done by a reputable institution, somebody who hires industry experts. And they're also recognized by certification bodies that provide learning in a comprehensive curriculum. Make sure that they have some kind of a backup certification that says they are a good content creator. There are several of them in this industry. A lot of times your paid programs will include hands-on labs. So you get to put your hands on that Cat 5e cable, the Cat 6 cable, that fiber optic cabling. You might be actually putting your hands on formulas to calculate all different types of things for project management. You might even be looking at case studies and even assessments designed to enhance your technical skills. It's going to help your problem-solving skills, and those people who come to those kinds of paid training programs have industry-specific knowledge that can help you. Some certifications from accredited organizations. Look up FOA, Fiber Optic Association. Look up Bixie. I even heard through the grapevine that Light Brigade might be doing some certification programs as well. Now, there's also a place, if you happen to be in Florida, especially near Orlando, or if you're looking for a reason to come to Orlando for a family vacation. The kids can go to Disney World and you can learn there's a place called the Fiber Optic School that's going to help you to, again, gain that expertise and demonstrate that proficiency in specific technologies and methods. That's going to help you, again, entice those future clients, those maybe future employers, and help your peers be motivated by you as well. The paid workshops, they're usually led by subject matter experts who offer opportunities for interactive learning. The good ones do. The good ones are going to want you to ask them. They're going to want you to have questions. Don't be that bump on the log in the back of the classroom that's afraid to ask questions. Because I bet you that if you're thinking of that question, somebody else is probably also thinking about that question as well. Be the person who has the bravery in them to actually go and ask those questions. Because there are some real benefits to investing in paid programs. Number one, it shows your peers, your customers, and your employers that you have a commitment to professional development and you have a commitment to learning, and you've dedicated your life to mastering the advanced skills and competencies that's going to be related to this industry. Paid training programs usually will give you an in-depth knowledge, specialized expertise, and industry standard practice that can lead to improved job performance. And the beautiful thing about that is, especially pick one that's going to match your skill sets. If you're doing fiber, then you want to take a fiber course offered by one of those organizations. Copper, you want to take the copper ones. Pick the right one that fits your need and where you are heading. Always think about your career advancement and where you want to go. Because certifications through those trade programs, they're going to enhance your marketability. And unless you're running your own company, well, actually, no, it works even with your own company. If you're a technician, that means you should be able to make more money because you are more valuable now. If you get certified and you own your own company, well, now your company is even worth more now. You can charge more per hourly. Because what it does is it's going to show you your potential job prospects, your potential customers, that you have validated skills and competencies. And they're just not just, you didn't show them just a Bubba and his truck. You actually showed them to industry recognized credentials to somebody who's gone through that accreditation process. Now, paid training programs typically will include some type of ongoing support, maybe even resources and even updates to ensure that you stay current with the evolving technologies and industry trends. And if nothing else, a lot of times by sitting into paid courses, you develop some lifelong friends, other students. A lot of people don't miss that one because I still friends with people that I've taken classes with 25 years ago. And I still reach out to them with questions. And they still reach out to me with questions. Now let's talk about some considerations such as quality versus relevance and maybe even return on your investment, because maybe your company's not the one paying your way. Maybe you are paying your way. Training is so important that I have paid for my own training from time to time because my company would say, we can't afford to send you that right now. That's kind of what kicked off my whole RCDD path. They didn't have the ability to send me to a course. I just said, you know what? I'll do it on my own. Same way this podcast started. You know what? I'll do it on my own. And like a bull in a china shop, I did it. But you through brute power, right? So the paid training programs, they will vary in quality. So you got to kind of keep that in mind. So always try to pick one that's going to match buy the best course from the best reputable company, from the best training provider that you can afford. Here's the beautiful thing. You will never leave your knowledge in the ceiling. We're good at going out investing in tools, and we're good at spending a lot of money on tools because we realize that, this is a good quality tool. It's going to last me a lifetime. So will your knowledge. So why not invest in that? And you'll never leave your knowledge in the ceiling. How many people have left tools in the ceiling? It does happen. It does happen. So invest in knowledge. And when you invest in knowledge, again, you become more marketable. You can make more money. You can buy even better tools. Maybe you can now go buy some more Milwaukee Packout or Klein mod boxes. There you go. I've got both. I love them both. It's essential to make sure that you research and evaluate the quality of the training program before you sign up. Find other people who have that certification. Again, LinkedIn's perfect for this. We talked about this on the last week's episode. LinkedIn's a great resource. Get on LinkedIn, find somebody who has that certification, reach out to them, say, hey, I'm looking about applying to become FOA certified. I'm looking to become an RCDD. I'm looking to become, whatever certification you're looking for. Can you give me some tips, some trips? Has it helped your career? What did you think about the class? Don't be afraid to ask. Operate outside of your fear zone. The paid training should also align with your current job roles, your career aspirations, and the industry demands to maximize the impact and relevance. Another common question I get, Chuck, which certification should I get first? Should I get my RCDD or my outside plant? Should I get my DC or should I get my RCDD? It's a case-by-case scenario. You really got to sit down and think about how much money you want to spend on it, how much money you want to invest, and which best suits you first. Your path will be specific to just you, not to, anybody else. That's why I kind of shy away from them questions, but people do ask them all the time. Do your research. The internet's a great thing. It's an absolute great thing. Because you want to make sure that you get a good return on your investment. Even if you're not paying for it, if your company's paying for you to take the class, you still got to spend 3 days, 5 days in this class and read all this information and then test out on it. So you are putting into it as well. So you're putting yourself, your own energy in it. Make sure that you get a good return on investment. It's not just the finances. So let's touch a little bit on the difference between training and certification. So training focuses on skills acquisition and development through structured learning activities. You might even do some hands-on stuff, maybe some practical exercises. And there might even be some knowledge transfer from the instructors or maybe the books or the curriculum that they're going to give you access to. Certification validates, it verifies those competency levels, that expertise. Right? It shows the world that you have proficiency in a specific technology, a specific methodology, or maybe in a particular job role. That's the difference. Certification does have training. Training does not have certification. If you have the ability to take a training that has some kind of certification on the end of it that's going to be helpful to your career, go the certification route. Yes, sometimes those certification routes, you're going to have to do continuing education courses and you're going to have to pay fees every couple, 3-4 years. Trust me, from personal experience, because I've been in RCDD since 1999. I've gone to a lot of Bixie conferences. I've paid a lot of renewal fees. I've paid a lot of money for CEC courses. I have earned 100 times fold what I put into that certification. Certifications are definitely worth it. I will put a link in the description below of some of my favorite online courses, some of my favorite YouTube videos, so that way you can access those and you can see them as well. So until next time, remember, knowledge is power.
That's it for this episode of today's podcast. We hope you were able to learn something. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future content. Also, leave a rating so we can help even more people learn about telecommunications. Until next time, be safe.